I told my wife today to be prepared for a delivery because I'm getting another small statue. Typically, Street Fighter statues from PCS, like this one right here, arrive in small boxes. Well, was I ever wrong? Not wrong that this isn't a small box. It may be considered a small box, but I was wrong that we're getting one box. It not only surprised me that 2 boxes showed up, but this guy came in 3 boxes. Hey guys, welcome to the Extreme Channel. My name is Mr. X. Today we are opening this ultimate Guile statue from PCS Collectibles. And as you can tell, we're going to do things a little bit out of order. First, we're going to unbox these bitches. Although, I probably wouldn't call him a bitch to his face. Very similar to some of you cowardly keyboard warriors. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, so revelation number 1. It's been a while since I unboxed a PCS piece, but instead of tape, they went to straps. Bravo! And this box right here, it's the biggest one. I assume it's the main one. Does weigh about 50 pounds. And voila! Layer 2. Our traditional PCS white gloves that I like to use whenever I commit a crime. Soda cans. I am damn thirsty. And looks like the main base right here. And really quick to kind of highlight the art box. So the bigger one here actually has him doing his sonic boom. You can see that throughout the reflection. Same pose on every side. Where the smaller ones are just kind of his stance, his pre-fight stance. Looks like it's the variant.
More gloves.
And here is this layer. Looks like we have another museum style base. Another, I think this is the original. Fighting pose. More white gloves. I can commit so many crimes after this. Alright, let's clean up and assemble. Alright, so I have 2 legs, 3 torsos, at least 2 bases. Let's see how this works. Museum base, this is number 165 of 350. And let's go ahead and throw his blue pants on here, which are actually falling down. We got a little butt crack showing. Oh, someone undid his belt too and pulled down his pants. And his laces just broke off. Quality stuff, PCS. Got the upper torso here. Maybe that's why his pants are undone, so he can get his... I'm not good at dressing dolls, which is probably a good thing. We'll leave his pants undone. There's broken shoelaces on there. And we have a lot of portraits here. Let's get an ugly one. Well, that means we have 4 options. Boom. Fantastic. Oh, here's his other broken laces. It's like both of his laces broke off. Alright, let's set that guy aside for now. Whoa. Not very stable. Kind of a heads up on that. And let's go with this base.
Much bigger.
So it looks like the legs are the same, except this one doesn't have broken laces. Now with this, obviously either leg can go in either base. Or not. It's a huge issue. Doesn't even close to key in right. I wonder if the other one does. We'll have to try both. And we will go with the Sonic Boom. And again, his pants are undone. Someone was getting freaky at Sideshow. Oh, that's very secure. Don't breathe on it. Oh, that doesn't even connect.
Careful. And let's see what else we got here. What is this?
Looks like we got a additional proximity base that you put behind him, next to him. I guess you can kind of put anywhere. Probably behind him would be better. But the box goes in there. I'm wrong. It's a cool looking box though. Looks like we have another small base here, probably for the other torso, which is kind of nice, so you can display every torso. Nope, it's not for that. This might be for that. There we go. Still gotta figure out what the hell that is. I might have to cheat and look at a picture. Oh, that's an ugly mother. This might be for... There you go. One might say this is the ultimate Guile, hence why it's called that. It shakes pretty bad. Alright, we got some soda cans. We got his Sonic Boom. See how well that sits on there. So there are magnets inside the Sonic Boom, and there are magnets on the outsides of these, but it doesn't sit flush at all. It almost looks like this is supposed to wrap around his hand. Oh, this one works, so just this one's having issues. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's actually pretty smart. Alright, so we got whatever the hell this is. Huge piece of smoke or resin, which obviously sits in that big empty keyhole. Alright, and then we have his Boombox. So for you youngins out there, this is what we used to have to carry around instead of an iPhone. Haha, I figured it out. I did cheat. So it supposedly goes behind him, I think. Alright, see? So that's how it goes. But let me get everything ready here, and then we will do a full-fledged review. Alright guys, Mr. X here finally got the ultimate Guile here. So this is made by Pop Culture Shock Toys, and you're going to have to forgive me because I don't have a ton of information on this. Because I was just searching for the normal one, and even PCS's website seems to be gone. Maybe it's a fluke? Who knows? But this is the latest in their Street Fighter line. So Pop Culture Shock Toys is a company that was around for quite a few number of years, and they had a lot of licenses such as Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and many others, and then they kind of had some financial issues. Now, while they didn't go anywhere, they signed a deal with Sideshow Collectibles to distribute their stuff. So I've been waiting for this piece probably for 2 to 3 years, quite a while. He's probably the final of the 9 pieces in my Street Fighter 2 collection. And I got the ultimate version, which includes all this extra crap. I was trying to find out what the regular version was like, but I can't seem to find it anywhere online. I believe it was just this black museum base with the green guy in the normal fighting pose, and then this may have been offered as a variant. So I definitely know you didn't get 2 bases, you didn't get 3 torsos, and you definitely didn't get 4 heads, which is what you get with this Ultimate Edition package. Since we already swayed from the normal format of review, I'm going to continue just to kind of wing it on this piece because I don't even know how to review something that has 2 different bases, 3 different torsos, 4 different portraits, and what's even more disturbing to me is where the hell am I going to display all this? I had a spot that he will fit in, but that's about it. So Street Fighter 2 is one of my favorite games growing up. I always thought I was really good at this game until I played another YouTuber in New York and got my ass kicked. I always liked Guile, but he was never my player of choice. I was always a Ken guy. Now, being an American, I definitely like Guile because he represented America, and he's pretty badass looking. And I think PCS pulled it off decently here, but I almost feel like they went too elaborate. You're probably wondering, Mr. X, why did you get the ultimate piece? Because that's how I roll. But I almost think it's too much. It's so much, I don't even know where to start. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some video close-ups for you guys, showing you the paint and the sculpt, and also all these different options. You got a good idea when I unboxed it and assembled it, but I think that'll be the easiest way to kind of show you what you get with this package and the good things and the bad things about it. Where to even begin? I think it makes sense to kind of talk about the construction of these. So here is the large base, and as I said, he's very loose. I don't want to shake him too much, mainly because the key down here doesn't even sit flush. It sits quite a bit out, which is a little unfortunate. And then this back part where this flame, which I do like this flame, it kind of contributes to the concept we'll talk about, is actually a separate piece. I don't know why this whole base couldn't have been one piece. And then you have a real depth issue here. So check that out. You have all this space behind him. Who knows where you can put the box and the soda. And we'll come back and look at some close-ups of this stuff. More talking about the design. Now, as I said, you kind of do have to put his clothes together, and my hands are not that small, so it's hard for me to get the belt hole through the belt loop. I wonder, it must be for engineering or shipping purposes, or I guess so you could display the torsos on this extra display here. Not really digging that. Then this guy's pose is really awkward from certain angles. Certain angles it looks okay, but some of it, like here, I am not really feeling that. I always felt like his sonic boom was more of almost an uppercut, like his kick. I do like this pose quite a bit better though. Like I said, it's kind of his pre-stance pose when he's getting ready to fight. Got a little bit of styrofoam right there. And here are his laces that broke off. And it's very fragile. So one broke off in the bag, one I may have broke off by touching it or looking at it funny. It is nice, they offer these extra displays. So you can display everything, which I said it's a little overwhelming for all of this. Man, that's driving me nuts. It's a little overwhelming for all this. Unless you're an absolute Guile fanatic. So portrait options here. So first of all, these two torsos are identical. And this is pretty identical other than the pose, but you'll see a lot of the same paint and sculpt. But let's look at the portraits. So here's my favorite portraits. This is kind of the classic one. One thing I don't like about this and two of the other ones is look at the top of the head. Looks like a flattened pancake. And then here you have the sunglasses. That's okay. And down here, kind of one that looks better not on him. And then here you have the face only a mother could love. And with this, his hair is quite a bit different. They tried to strand it out. Looks like a chia pet that was, or a cat that was smashed. So definitely not a fan of that portrait. Now with the portraits too, you do have a decent seam line. Nothing horrible, but it is there. And obviously the seam line and his pants are covered up by the mixed media. So a lot of their pieces, I think most of them actually have some mixed media other than their new M. Bison. I guess their Vega didn't, but so let's dive into the paint and sculpt here. The box looks great. So props to PCS on that. They said, let's make sure this box has some great shading in it and the grain looks like real wood. Soda cans, kind of oversized. They're bigger than his head, non-branded. And these are all from the actual level when you would play Guile. So I do appreciate that. The Boombox looks like it needs some help. The paint is pretty sloppy on this. It doesn't look real. Granted, this is taken from a video game that has a cartoon aspect to it, but I think that huge miss, especially when you compare it next to the wooden box. The base is decent. The outsides of it are a little plasticky looking, but the top of it, they got the classic Guile symbol. I appreciate that. This smoke resin effect, you know, almost like he's pushing back. His sonic boom is creating that behind him, I think is a fantastic addition. I was thinking whether I'd like this more clear or more cloudy. I think they did it just right. And then the way it's sculpted, it really flows well. His boots fully sculpted. The mixed media actually is decent quality. I don't think it'll deteriorate anytime soon. A little bit baggy. His position is a little bit awkward. You'll notice that right here, and part of it could be due to the baggy pants. Certain angles it does look okay. I think one of the issues where I think he looks awkward is these legs are actually more meant for that kind of pose. But I understand why they did it, so you can switch things out. Again, even his shirt looks pretty good. I think they used some nice material here. The sculpt on his muscles is great. I think they did a really nice job not only showing the anatomy, but you see some vein work and the paint looks good. He has American flags tattooed, supposedly. They more look like decals. But they did a really nice job with him flexing and showing his power. As far as the portrait itself goes, like I said, this is my favorite one. Looks okay. Again, I think the paint is decent. The sculpt, it's more the expression that I'm not digging. And then that horrible pancake top. But even here's some shots of the back anatomy. And here, like right here, the seam line is worse on this one. You see that? So definitely some QC issues. And that's the problem you're going to have when you have 3 torsos and 4 different heads. The portraits, if we were grading this, I'd give the portraits, you know, a 3 or a 4 out of 5. The torsos themselves, 4 out of 5, maybe 5 out of 5. This base, there's some good things about it and some bad things. Really torn on this piece. Let's look at the sonic boom effects. I like how they did this. The translucent resin looks good. Would be neat if there was some type of light up feature. I'd probably never use it, but the top of the hair just gets me every single time. I don't think I've ever been this conflicted about a piece. Throw down in the comments something, give me some guidance here. What would you be thinking if you were me? So there you have it, guys. Now, price on this was $850. Traditionally, PCS Street Fighter pieces retailed right around $400 or so, but as you can see, you're kind of getting 2.5 characters with some elaborate stuff. So while I'm not ranking the paint and sculpt and design and concept and all that, even though we did talk about it, I think the value is not the best either. Even though there's 350 here, this is a pretty difficult to display all these unless you're a die-hard Guile fan. While there are some really good things we talked about in here, there's some things I'm not so sure of, like the wiggly base that he's on. Just how much room you have to display for what I would consider a secondary character. Had some damage issues. I don't know if I want to display 3 torsos of the same guy. And traditionally, PCS Street Fighter pieces always go for under retail. Now, while this was sold out and hard to get, and like I said, there are some good things about this, I don't think the value is very high on this. So I may be cautious and try and buy it third hand. Unless you're stupid like me and just like to piss away your money on statues. But overall, am I happy with this piece? You know, I don't think I am. I think it's too much. I think they just went too far. There's too much going on. There's so much space that commands for a secondary character. While I love some of the sculpt and the anatomy, I'm going to have to see if I can find a space to display this. Otherwise, I might be making my second buyer's remorse return to Sideshow ever. So there you have it, guys. Kind of an untraditional review. Frankly, because I didn't know how to handle all this, and also I'm pressed on time, but I appreciate you tuning in. Let me know your thoughts on these pieces. Eventually, I will get some pictures on the Extreme Channel Facebook page, so make sure to check that out, as well as subscribing by hitting that Mr. X logo. Otherwise, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.